So you get it rolling, but you don't get it rolling directly towards the goal like was your intention. I mean, the thing's weight is distributed more on one side than the other. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are in his field, it rolls back over on top of Victor instead. And now it's rolling in this direction back towards Orson. Moving or staying put?
I'm good.
Okay, who's next?
Next up is Victor with Genie on deck.
Victor, you are under the ball. But if you stand up, you can place yourself on any square adjacent to it.
Well, if I can get to my token, then he will stand up.
There you go.
Actually, you know where he's going to stand? Victor's going to go for a laugh. So let me ask you this question: if I wanted to pull Edmund's pants down,
yeah, I call that an opposed grapple check.
Grapple?
Your strength athletics. Well, I would allow you to use sleight of hand, and then opposing his strength athletics or dex acrobatics.
Victor's.
You gotta beat a 23.
I'll be impressed.
He might be able to do it. Don't forget, he's got those dice.
Yep, he's gonna try. Would be a 23 base, and then if that doesn't pass, he will use the psionic dice.
Well, if on an opposed check, the 23 is a stalemate.
Then I'll use the psionic dice.
You're gonna psionically pants the monk? That's a great sentence that I just said.
You put it to a 24, which beats a 23.
So yeah,
you only needed you just put the minimum amount of flair on that. I'm just so disappointed in you.
So yeah, you just get hold of Edmont's breeches and pull him down, and to riotous laughter amongst the crowd. Edmont, until you or another player takes an action to pull your pants back up, I'm going to say your speed is halved as your pants are pulled down around your ankles.
Okay.
This is the
What
thing
kind of
doing.
underwear does Edmont wear? I'm thinking like little ducks.
I'm thinking Batman.
Does he wear underwear?
Because I'm free VOD muted.
Was that the end of Victor's turn?
So if Victor, Victor,
that's the power of the improvised action in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Evie is wondering why this is the second time in 2 weeks she's seen one of her cousins with her pants off.
Victor is he's got a bonus action disengage.
Okay.
Probably a wise move.
You don't have all that movement. Well, actually, never mind. You do.
Yeah, he's 15 to stand up. Put him next to Edmont Square.
Okay.
Edmont, it's becoming very apparent that Victor's team is playing dirty.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm sorry, but the freaking Cleric started it.
Who's next?
Can't prove that. There's no components for psionics. Genie's up with Orson on deck.
No, Genie's down.
Right.
And now she's up. 5, 10, 15, and I'm going to
Why are you moving like Evie?
gonna grapple my sister.
Rude.
Low tackle her.
Okay. That's
I
just
feel
a
like you're
post
working
check.
some kind of aggression out.
Genie, you use athletics, and Evie can use either athletics or acrobatics.
I would much rather use acrobatics, thank you.
I would if I were you.
You don't have to roll very well. I rolled a 4.
I only got a 9, but that's better than you.
So the saddest cat fight in history breaks out on the north end of the ball.
Not a cat fight. I was trying to tackle her and prevent her from giving help the next time.
Evie just sidestepped.
Is that the end for Genie?
Yeah.
Right.
Genie yells out, "You think I should? Do you think they would? Do you think they'd be upset if I set the ball on fire?"
Yes.
Who's next?
Yeah.
Got Orson with Evie on deck.
Orson, fix it.
Orson. I'm thinking Orson moves like here. And then we'll attempt to shove the ball over Ekon.
Okay, so that's an athletics check for Orson.
Remember, it's +4.
Be a 13.
13, so he rolls a d4.
Be a 3.
3. So yeah, he gets a hold of the ball and redirects it. He redirects it. And again, the weight's shifting on the ball, so he's not able to push it straight forward. So I need Edmont to make a strength saving throw.
Is he at disadvantage? His pants are down.
No. You can still brace for impact with your pants are down.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do this.
You're gonna go prone?
That's a 5 on my saving throw.
Okay, the other guy's already prone, so yeah, the ball rolls over on top of you. And is Orson moving or staying put?
Orson will
Base the ball.
Chase it down?
yeah.
All right, who's next?
Next up, we have that was Orson. It's Evie with blue team on deck.
Okay. Evie is going to once again give advantage to Edmont. And she's just going to move right here. And she's going to try to move the ball back to the left.
Orson can't grapple when she enters his threat range, can he?
No.
No, she has to be using a spear for that.
If he was holding his spear, he could attack her with it.
Are you ready to escalate to that degree?
It's just the butt.
Evie, let's get a strength athletics check. Let's see if you can arrest the ball's motion.
You sure I can't use dexterity?
Well, I'm sure.
Okay.
It's all about upper arm strength,
Well,
man.
how about a natural 20? Does that work?
And that, well, what does it turn into?
18.
And which direction were you looking to move it?
Straight into the blue goal.
So Orson
Here,
needs to
here.
make a strength saving throw.
You want to roll that treble or you want me to?
Got it.
No, you don't.
It's a 7.
A 7?
It's like Orson does not expect this from Evie. He's like,
No,
oh,
he
it's
does
just
not.
Evie. It's
And
like,
that's
holy
actually
crap.
that's actually a big number from Evie. So she bowls Orson over with it, and the ball is going to continue to roll towards that goal. Evie, is that all you can do?
Yeah. Anything else I do, I would provoke from Genie. And I don't think I want to see what that looks like right now.
All right, who's next?
Blue team.
Blue team. He's got to leave a lot of threat ranges. He's going to try, though, because he doesn't have a choice. So he's leaving 2 of oranges. Or no, 1 of oranges here. That's a fail. So he makes it to this square. And there's 2 oranges here. No, he's only leaving 1, and he's prone. That's a fail, so he's makes it to this square. And that's where he needed to get. So now he can try to stop the ball. That's a 2. So the ball
Eesh. Evie's too
continues to roll.
strong.
Oh no, Evie got an 18, so the ball rolls to there. And then it'll roll 1 space next turn. All the other blue players are on the ball, and then it's orange. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think they can do much but chase after it hollering, but...
I can pull people off.
So he's leaving a blue threat range. No, he doesn't have that much movement. I'm sorry. 15 to stand up. That's as far as he can make
Right
it.
there.
He can make it to here, but that's not exiting any threat ranges. So yeah, the orange player's just chasing after the ball in this direction. I think he's leaving Genie's threat range right here.
I'll grab his legs.
Okay. That's going to be an opposed check. You're looking to beat a 17.
That is a 14.
14, so he makes it here.
I will never roll that well again.
And he can get hands on the ball here. Should I have played like the Blitzball music for this hole?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a 17 on his roll.
You mean you weren't?
He gets hands on it. He gives the ball a good shove towards Blue's goal. And as it does, the south side of the field, the crowd starts... and the north side starts...
So, like, what is he trying to do? Did he push it into the...
He's pushing it towards the blue goal.
Is the south side in favor of orange or blue?
The north side is in favor of blue. The south side is in favor of orange.
Okay, and the south side was the one that gasped.
Because remember when the... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's the other way around. North side is in favor of orange. South side is in favor of blue. Because when the north side, the ball was about to go out of bounds, they shoved it back into play in the direction of orange's goal. And that is all. My orange guy is going to stay on the ball.
All right, so that's gonna. That's not yet. That's going to provoke some AOs.
That provokes one from Evie, I believe.
And
I'm at his team.
Genie.
Oh,
no, Genie.
Use mine.
Blue is already
Genie?
taking a reaction, so
Okay.
So is Genie.
and Genie's
Yeah.
already taking a reaction, so
doesn't provoke
I think that gets one from Victor then.
Victor is absolutely going to try and grab you.
Oh, what about Orson?
Yeah,
Orson.
Orson.
Oh, yep.
Does that mean he can't? He can grab.
He can.
Oh, then yeah, Orson and Victor are going to try and stop.
Orson
that
can try
is-
it at disadvantage because he's laying
Okay.
prone.
That's a 9 on die and a 4 on die. So that's 6 plus 8 plus 10. It's a 10.
Victor.
I got a 12 on acrobatics.
Okay, so he gets away from Orson.
Victor has a 14.
That's a 13 on acrobatics.
So Ekon is grappled into this square.
I
Correct?
believe I was leaving this square actually.
Yeah, if you were leaving that square, then that's where you are. As Victor reaches out, grabs hold of your arm, and he has you grappled.
Okay. Do I lose the rest of my movement?
I mean, you haven't taken an action yet, have you?
No, but I mean, if I were to become ungrappled, would I continue? Would I still have the other 10 feet of movement?
Yeah, absolutely.
Victor, give me a DC 15 strength saving throw.
You really want to do that?
Yeah.
As Victor is holding on to his holy symbol.
Be a 3.
And then Ekon just does a charging, ramming his shoulder into the ball to continue it moving that direction.
Was it an action to throw Victor?
No, it was a bonus action.
Oh yeah, then you get an action to roll the ball.
I think I end up on the ground because that's a -2 athletics.
Trip and fall flat on your face.
I mean, you don't get knocked prone because the ball's moving away from you, but
Yeah.
you're not able to
Sure.
redirect it at all.
And now it's Edmont with Victor on deck.
All right, Victor, 2 questions. First question. Has Blue Boy here burned his reaction already?
Yeah.
Okay. Second question. Can I use item interaction to just free myself of the tyranny of pants completely instead of an action?
Kick him free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay then.
Just kick your pants off into the crowd. One of the young ladies catches it.
You have advantage.
Oh,
Do it.
it's a 19. It's an 18 or a 17. So an 18.
An 18?
Yep.
Yeah, the ball goes rolling and hits the back of the wood. As soon as it does, no sooner does it hit, and the crowd is going crazy. These 3 men start running this direction as they come loose. And the orange man who was on the ball starts running the opposite direction to the south. Edmont, do you have anything left you're doing?
No, I'm good.
Okay, who's next?
Victor.
I If only I had some non-lethal means of retaliation.
Yeah, you can't. You have no power over Edmont anymore. He has freed himself from the tyranny of pants.
That should be the title of this episode: "The Tyranny of Pants."
So I can't occupy the same score as a blue guy, even though they're running away, can I?
Correct. All they've done so far is let go of the ball, and they've hit the ground running.
So Victor is going to go here, and he is going to shove the ball towards Ekon and Edmont.
Okay.
That would be a 16.
A 16. So this orange guy needs to make a strength save. Actually, no, he's just going to go prone. He doesn't need to. And the ball starts rolling. So on the next turn, it's going to roll into Edmont and Ekon squares. Is that all for Victor?
And then he's going to use the rest of his movement to go.
Okay.
He's going to yell at the genie, "Get on the ball!"
Who's next?
Genie is next.
Yeah. 5, 10.
Excuse me, you are leaving my threat range.
Yes, I am.
My flex is not good, but I'm still going to take the shot because hers isn't great either. I got a 14.
It's 100% of the shots you don't take.
Well, you got me.
So you grab hold of Genie and she doesn't run anywhere?
It probably just grab her hair or something.
Just grab her hair? All right. And then who's next?
I mean, I still got an action.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I
gonna
just
pull
turn
a
around
gun
and-
and shoot your sister?
I punch her in the face.
Oh.
So it's going to be an attack?
Yeah.
All right. Roll a hit against her AC.
That is a, She pulled my hair!
Yeah?
That is a minus... It's a 15.
That is exactly what you need.
So yeah, you do 1 plus your strength modifier damage. Minimum
0.
of 1.
1 point of damage.
So, Evie, it's been a physical game. There's been bumps and bruises and scrapes, but Genie just pops you one right in the nose. Like, she didn't... You still have a hold of her hair. She didn't try to get free. She just turned around and clocked you.
Evie doesn't look hurt. She just looks disappointed.
I mean, your nose definitely hurts. And who's next?
Mark off 1 point of damage.
Got Orson up next.
Okay. Here, I'll unlock
Where's Orson? Oh, okay.
I'm thinking Orson should just go tackle Edmont and restrain him.
Yeah, okay.
He is leaving an orange threat range there. Oh, he hasn't... No, he wasn't the one that had to use a reaction. So he's leaving 1 orange threat range. So he's got to make me... He's got to beat a 12 on an athletics or acrobatics check.
Nope.
No.
Oh, you're going to roll?
So he's there.
Well, I was moving him, so yeah.
So yeah, as he's moving towards the ball, the other
Roll
orange
1.
player grabs hold of his pants, and Orson, struggling, but comes to a stop.
So for his action, then, can he shove the orange player away?
Yeah, he can try to break the grapple.
Yep. You roll this time.
I feel like the meta of the Wicker Ball League is never going to be the same after today. We've changed this game.
That would be a 7, I guess.
A 7, he got a 14. So he is still grappled. Who's next?
After Orson, we have Evie with blue team on deck.
I mean,
Evie, fix it.
Are we still trying to get it back into the goal?
I don't know what you're trying to do. You tell me.
I mean, I guess that's what we're going to do.
You got me grappled.
Yeah, I'm going to have to risk the wrath of Genie on this one. You know, it's more useful to give the bonus action to Edmont.
Okay.
And
Just rolling around in the dirt.
Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna maintain my hold on Genie.
Okay, so you're using your bonus action to help Edmont and then just maintaining the grapple.
Yeah.
And then it's blue team, yes?
Yeah.
So the 3 blue team runs up to the north of the field. I have to try to get a hold of this one. Where each of them is handed a tankard of ale. And they just start chugging.
It's a drinking game!
This blue player is not doing anything. He's just hollering support and cheering to his teammates on the north end of the field who a moment ago were attached to the ball.
Genie yells at him, "What are we doing? Give us some guidance!"
On Orange's team, your boy stands up and he runs to the south end of the field. 5, 10. So he can only get this far. And one of the people, again, puts a tankard in his hand and he starts chugging. Now I have to make some checks.
Now I know why they wanted to be on the ball so now.
So all 4 of them are chugging right now. Who is next after Orange?
Ekon.
Ekon.
The ball's rolling towards me, right?
Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. Both of you guys need to make a strength saving throw.
So strength save of 11.
Of 11, how'd Edmont do?
Strength save. Sorry, there was a dog in my lap.
I know how that is.
Oh, that might actually pass. That's a 17.
17, it does pass. So good news. Ekon, he manages to arrest the ball's movement before it bowls you over, but you did not help at all.
I would say
Then
climb
it's
on.
Ekon's turn.
And then it's Ekon's turn, yes?
Yeah. I mean, Ekon's just going to wave to the crowd on what he assumes is his team on the south with a big smile.
Is anybody
guess-
else going to do anything, interact with the ball at all before blue and orange get another turn?
I mean, I guess mechanically I'm dodging, but that's
Okay.
it.
Victor will.
Because the blue and orange players still on the field aren't doing anything but cheering on their teammates at this point. What does Victor want to do on his turn?
Victor wants to attempt to push the ball back towards the middle of the field.
Towards the middle of the field?
Over Ekon and Edmont.
Okay, give me that athletics check. Victor's like, I'm going to make this game about the ball.
Freaking 1.
1, so you don't do anything. All right. And I'll have everybody on the field make me a perception check. All 5 of you.
Nine.
9?
16.
Okay.
18.
23.
So if you beat a 15, here's what you notice.
Nah.
2 tankards of mead were given to each of the blue players. 1 tankard was given to the sole orange player. The orange player finishes his 1 tankard before the blue players have a chance to finish both of theirs. And you hear the referee call out. I mean, only Genie knows what he's saying. But the point goes to orange. Blue 0, orange 1. And there's a lot of cheering and jeering and hollering. Tankards are being refilled. And the players, slightly more drunk than they were, come back and take the field for the next play. I'm going to work on the assumption that we don't actually want to sit here and play out every single point.
I mean,
You guys kind of have the feel for it now?
Yeah.
Can I
Still
get my
like the
holy
look.
symbol back before the next round?
you can have it back after the game.
After the...
Cheater.
So here's what we'll do. I'll have blue, all of blue, make 1 strength athletics check for each blue player, and then 1 strength athletics check for each orange player. DC is 10, and the side with the most passes will say wins the game.
I passed.
Blue
Evie
has
did not
2
pass.
passes. for the
Genie passed.
Victor passed.
and Orange has
Sweet.
2 passes. So it's going to come down to what you guys got.
Evie failed.
And Orson passed. So all 3 of us passed.
Okay, then yeah, that is just one. Yeah, there, but for the grace of one pass check, go us.
So was it blue?
Yeah, blue one.
And you guys play to 7 points. And by the end of the 7, I mean, you're covered in mud and your whole body is sore and bruised up. And I imagine several of you were very drunk. And when the game is called, I mean, the players shake hands and pat on the back. And you see some of the wives and mothers run on the field and start tending to some of the superficial injuries. One of them dotes after Evie's bloody nose.
I have my pants back.
Your pants disappeared into the crowd.
We can get you new pants.
All right.
No, your pants are returned to you after you,
Back into the tier.
After that first point.
And yeah,
Imagine.
exactly like you said, like the meta of this game is never going to be the same. This was the most exciting game of Wicker Ball that they've played in many seasons. And you can tell now that there are old rivalries between families on the blue side versus the orange side that play each other season after season after season. But it's all celebratory. It's all in good fun. And there's no shortage of games and food and music to be had after what was the main event. And they're sure they're going to be talking about the game that the big people came to play. Even though 2 of them were women, and women typically don't play Wicker Ball.
Not polite to call Ekon a woman.
Just because he can't shave yet.
Do any of you take up at any of the other games and try your hand at like the hammer toss or bobbing for apples or the log roll?
Victor will do a bunch of random games, yeah.
And there are games at all different levels. The other main game that they're playing, that they didn't invite you guys to play, is where they have a specialized log, a big tree trunk that has been sectioned off and the bark removed, and then grooves bore into it at either end, so ropes can be lashed onto it. And then it's heavily greased on the rope. And they take this log to the top of the hill with one team on the left side of the log and one team on the right side, give it a good tug down, and these men just go tumbling after it, trying to grab hold of their ropes and steer the log back. And everybody gets injured, and it's a grand old time. And at the end of the night, everybody's belly is full, your whole body is sore, and there's music, and it's a wonderful festival. Anything else you guys want to accomplish before the day's festivities come to an end?
There's like a lake at the edge of the village, right?
Here, let me pull up the... Oh, I don't have it saved. I just have it in immigrant.com here.
It was
There's
like a river tributary.
Yeah, there's a stream.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, that's the wrong button. There's a stream off the edge of the map where the fishermen go. There's a little duck pond in the center of the village here, though.
That's not. After that game, basically, Ekon is going to go over to the stream, and he's going to take off his armor, and he's going to take off his clothes, and he's just going to get a good freezing bath, because that was a lot.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only thing I wanted to have happen.
So there are good-natured rivalries on both sides of the village, but it doesn't stop anybody from sharing what they have. And every family has brought food to the center. And by the time the sun is starting to leave its apex in the sky, so on into mid-afternoon, everybody in the village comes back onto the green here. The big wicker ball is rolled off to the side. And all of the families sit at these enormous tables, and places have been set for you as well. And all of your party.
And then the Fire Nation attacked.
Lugrin
Another shoe drop.
laments that these people have no use for coin because he could have made some, having bet on the blue team. But you receive congratulations from other members of your party who watched the spectacle.
I won't take offense that you plan to vote against me.
I mean, he was betting on Orson. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
That's what Lugren says. Like, that's the team that had Orson on it.
Fair enough.
Although Edmont performed probably the best in the field.
And yeah, the feast has had all sorts of different foods. And these little people eat way more than you think their little stomachs should be able to hold. Like, these people are chowing down. All of you are invited to play music and join into the songs during the feast. It seems like every family is taking a turn. Some with harps, others with bagpipes.
Join in.
So nobody else is doing anything specific during the feast or on into evening?
I think we're too drunk to do anything.
All right, then everybody can go ahead and take the benefits of the long rest.
Okay, change my spells around to be useful.
Let me regain my 1 hit point. Thanks, Genie.
You're welcome.
Jeannie got a little competitive, I would say.
Jeannie gets very competitive. It's her one failing. Singular.
And the next day, the village is back to business as usual. A considerable amount of work needs to be done, taking down the tables and structures that were built specifically for the harvest feast. And there's still some celebration and merriment going on as well. Jeannie, you learn that during this season, after this feast, is the prime season for marriages and name days to happen in the village. So they're gearing up for some of those. And the long hall would be used for those ceremonies. But there's no indication that these people are rushing you out of their village. They're still glad to have you. So the question then kind of becomes, what's your next move?
Right.
Like, do you just live here now amongst the little folk?
Yeah, sure, that's fine. We live here now.
That sounds like a good time, but I think we do have some other obligations.
Yeah, Victor grabs Jeannie the next day and asks if she will act as a translator while he goes and tries to figure out what else is in the area.
Well, I mean, we already did that. There's a village here, and here, and then there's a Lord's Manor where the Lord disappeared.
But what about, what do they know about the frog people? Are there any other threats in this area that we need to be concerned about?
Oh, they know that there are monsters and other belligerents living in the evil marshlands to the south, but they don't trouble themselves with it. Their people don't go down that way. They do send their wagon train down usually once a season, so 3 times a year, to trade with the Vistani.
I think our question should be, like, gather up NPCs and see if, let's
find out about the other villages too.
I think our biggest lead is the Lord's estate, and I think that's where we should head.
Weeks to the north.
But the question, it's weeks to the north.
We should see who in our little group wants to stay here while we go explore. For instance, we're not going to want to drag Tenny with us to the Lord's Keep.
No.
So to be clear, the people don't know exactly where this keep is located. They know that the tax man would always arrive from the North Road.
Uh-huh.
And when he stopped arriving, they stopped troubling themselves with it. And this still looks like a face, even though the green lines have been erased.
So Victor's suggestion is we go to the other village that's close. We get more information from there. Maybe they'll know where this keep is.
Over across the bridge on the other side of the lake.
Is it across the lake? Is it across the bridge?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So let's leave the people that would be a detriment to our travels here in this village if they're allowed to stay and help out. And then we can come back and get them after we find out more about the area.
Would that be okay with them? Like, I don't want to wear out our welcome, but it would be really great if we could have the people who we don't want getting killed out in the wilderness just stay here.
We should leave Denny here. Maybe they can change him.
No, Denny needs to stay with us, I
Once
think.
Denny gets wind of your plans to leave for the next village, he would insist on going.
I think he has to stay with us. I think we
What
can't let him out of our sight.
Yeah.
What do the other NPC like? So
So you
Danique
want?
and-
I'll just give you a general rundown as you go through, because I've got my list ahead of here. Denny sees no reason to not stay and soak up as much hospitality as he can get. He's eaten well for the past week. He didn't get drafted into playing that ridiculous game, so he wasn't made to look like a fool in front of everybody, which he's pleased with.
I mean, he does that all on his own. Is exactly what Jeannie would respond.
Lugrin is
Snipes.
very happy to stay here. It's rustic and it's without the charms that he's used to of either South Warren or the big city, but it's better than slogging through the wilderness eating scraps. Trieste and Abernathy, and so Leotgard by extension as well, he's kind of a member of their same party, are anxious to find a way to reverse Donique's condition. And it's become apparent that they cannot do it here. So either they need to continue, they would be in favor of continuing journeying to seek help elsewhere, or to have you guys return when you find said help.
That's probably a good idea.
I don't want to split up. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
Jayla is very anxious because she's been landlocked this whole time. She goes back and forth between being like sullen and moody and being in decently good spirits. Like, it's hard to be in bad spirits in this village anyway. But she's purely a mercenary. And this is not the job she signed up for.
Well, she can come with us if she's a mercenary.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you guys are leaving the village, she would probably insist on going, because anything is better. Like, her belly's full, she's not injured, like, she's getting restless. Lair he's your man. As far as he's concerned, you're his employers. You tell him what to do.
I would leave him here to protect our non-combatant family members.
Christen and Platten. Christen is hard to read. And I will let Ekon make an insight check, but no one else.
That is a 23.
So yeah, over the course of the couple days while you guys were here, Christen has made himself a new relic, which means his spellcasting abilities would be back. He doesn't confide anything in you, but you recall the sensation of disconnection you had when you cast a restoration spell on Denny. And you can see in Kristen's eyes and mannerisms that he's also experienced that kind of disconnectedness. And that it's troubling him. But if you try to bring the topic up, he clams up and won't talk about it.
Okay.
Platten is very suspicious. Don't get me wrong, he's eaten the food and he's played the games and he's enjoyed the respite as much as all of you, but it doesn't make sense. This is a place of evil mists and monsters that have been harassing you, and you've had evil witch women approach you. Like, how is this idyllic village with no walls and no fences in the middle of nowhere on the middle of this road that travels north and south and is the only road for miles as far as anyone knows, completely untouched by all of the other evils you've encountered?
Well, come with us and let's find out.
He thinks that there's some kind of protection placed over this town. But so far he hasn't had an opportunity really to do any investigation. All he knows for sure is that the town has a boarded up salt mine that none of the villagers have approached.
Yeah,
We
making
should-
sure the village is secure does seem like it would be a good idea before we go weeks away.
You want to let Platten stay here and investigate?
Well, I
mean,
feel
we
like
can
maybe we
investigate
should
it.
investigate this.
We investigate the mine.
I mean, let's look at our track of investigation so far.
Well, you guys are adventurers, not detectives.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, the salt mine might tell us more about the area. So
Why don't we start
and
by asking the people about the soul mine?
what
So-
do they say about it?
Years and years ago, there was a profitable mine here, and it's thought, nobody knows absolutely for sure, but... Oops, I lost my... It's thought that the Duvacats, who they called the lords of these lands, who live in the keep that used to send the taxman around, had established several mining interests in the area for salt and for other kinds of minerals. But as far as any of the villagers here know, the mine has been boarded up. As far as living memory of the oldest people in the village. And none of them really have any particular interest in unboarding it.
It might tell us something about the.
No.
There
These
could be-
people are happy every time we investigate something. Shit breaks. Let's not ruin these poor people's village. Let's go see what else is out there first. That is Victor's standpoint.
So
That's
Victor's
weeks and
saying
weeks away.
you want to travel overland. Well, you'd be traveling in much better spirits this time because you'd be well provisioned setting out. You have more expertise if you were to take Lair and Orson with you, who have been out in the wilderness of the area and have been taught by locals. You would have an easier time traveling overland. What I'm saying is mechanically it wouldn't be a hex crawl with survival checks every day to get where you're going.
But that's like weeks and weeks of travel just to get there, and then weeks and weeks of travel to get back.
Yeah, to hear some of these locals tell it, everything is weeks away. The village really is just in the middle of a lot of nothing.
But they're also smaller, so maybe it's not really that far.
They have these little stumpy legs.
I think we should. My vote is let's take a look at the mine because it might tell us something. We might find some information about the place we're going if they owned the mine.
But if the local people don't want us to investigate it, and every investigation we have has resulted in bad things happening, these are nice people.
Are they telling us to not go in there?
No, in fact, the locals don't seem to have much of an opinion on the mine one way or the other. They don't see any reason to stop you.
Yeah, they're
One
not saying,
or two
"No,
of them
don't
might
go."
lend you a hammer to try to bring the barricade down, but they also don't see much point in it. Whatever of value was in the mine has been mined out long, long ago.
Did their like fathers work in the mine back when the taxman came around, or is that even older than that?
No, probably older than that. Nobody in this town seems to have much recollection of the mine ever being operational.
Okay, well that is a little suspicious.
That is unusual, yeah.
I think we should probably look at it.
Yeah, I think we should check it out before we leave the village, just to
Agreed.
know what we're leaving behind.
So
was-
for next week, you guys are going to go poking around in that mine?
Yeah.
Victor is
How is
advocating
Tenny?
this.
Tenny, I mean, the difficulty with Tenny, I mean, she's having fun every day. She's learning to paint. She has friends here. She's learning to speak the Darkanese language. She's picking it up pretty quickly. But having this respite is also like her first chance to realistically grieve Giannis. And you can tell that that's hitting her particularly hard because they were becoming close back in Brennanine. So, I mean, she's very up and down. She's in a safe and healthy place, but she's hasn't been able to properly grieve for her cousin who's dead now.
Is it? Are there like local non-hideously carnivorous rabbits?
I mean, there are wild hares and things out in the grass.
Could I convince Orson to catch one of those and put it in a cage for her as a pet?
Oh, that would be easy enough. I mean, you could ask for the assistance of anyone here in town. I mean, I would say that Tenny is probably glommed on to one of the farming households that has a lot of livestock. So yeah, if you make a gift of her to a pet rabbit, I mean, she's very gleeful to accept it.
Is she reminded of the rabbit that he killed?
No, because the rabbit that he killed was a vicious man-eating monster.
Not in her eyes.
All right, so the last thing that's going to happen this session before we break,
Is the Fire Nation going to attack?
the Fire Nation attacks. Edmont, one
Sir.
night, probably the night before you guys are planning to go into the salt mine, you're putting your sketches of the day away and rolling them up and putting them in a scroll case when you notice in the bottom corner of one, you're just sketching one of the farms. You're overlooking one of the barley fields, and you were sketching it empty, and there are the hills in the background. And as you're rolling it up, you notice in the bottom corner of it, in the foreground, is a man with a wide straw hat. Not one of the little folk, just a normal human man. Standing with his back to you, and you have no earthly recollection of having drawn him.
Nope.
All right, I'm going to go dark and add up all your experience for the session if you guys want to think of some blips. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right, who was the most creative today?
So burn a village to the background and salt the fields, right?
I don't think we're there yet.
Why can't we just?
Yeah, and if we act now, we don't have to be.
Let's just leave them to be happy.
These are nice people. They've been nothing but helpful.
Let's not go in the mine and release the angry farmer spirit.
Anyway,
Yeah, who's the most creative today?
I
that
know who was the most cheating today.
Victor was definitely the most cheating today.
I'm gonna
He
give.
was the most cheating today.
I want to give that. I do want to give that to Victor for pantsing you.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the first time in D&D someone has ever said. I've ever heard someone say, "What's the role to pants this man?"
Yeah. No, that's had to have been said at other tables in the past, but
All right.
definitely the first time it's been at this table.
Who wants some experience points?
How much did we
I
get?
do.
Blue team won, so blue team gets 5,000 experience.
Fuck!
I'm putting that down.
No, nobody gets any experience. I'm
Damn it.
awarding everybody one blip for their participation in Wicker Ball.
Wicker ball.
It didn't end with somebody being burned inside the ball. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
That was my notes. It's like you guys were going to get a blip as long as you engaged with the game and like didn't break it. No,
Well,
nobody
we
got
didn't
mad
post
and lit the
that.
ball on fire. Nobody threw one of the halflings into the crowd.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about how close I was to summoning one of my turrets.
I thought so. My thinking was, it's either going to be Victor or Genie. Like Victor's going to summon a flamethrower turret and light it on fire to make everybody drop off the ball, or Victor's going to start using psychic knives trying to cut people loose.
He almost used one on Ekon.
I did not expect it would be Ekon to first start using class features.
That's a feat, I'll have you know.
Oh, okay. Well, feet go in your socks.
Haha!
All right. So who wants to make a
Never
case
gets
for some
old.
blips first?
I
I
can go.
could go.
I heard Treble first.
All right. That is chaotic neutral. When in doubt, go with your gut for the flying elbow on top of the ball.
Okay.
What would Nigel do for? Actually, the flying elbow is what would Nigel do. Punching Evie in the face is when in doubt, go with your gut.
So your gut just tells you to pop your sister in the nose.
When
I
she
mean,
grabs my
fair.
hair,
Fair.
and don't worry about it. My flaw, don't worry about it. It was just a setback for doing the flying elbow a second time.
Okay.
After it worked so well the first time, and then the last video.
Okay. And I think I heard Evie next.
Yeah. Okay, so aspect, you mess with my family, you mess with me. We're going to confront Denny. Even though Denny wasn't really up to anything that nefarious. So keep an eye on him.
Still a shitlord.
Yeah, ideal trespasser must move her pieces to the position of greatest advantage for conferring advantage onto Edmont, the star player of our team. Just trying to, because she knew she was useless in that game.
Yep.
Even though she is the one who kind of got it rolling when we actually scored.
That was a
Final-
miraculous roll.
It was. I got it. It was a natural 20, and that's what it took. That's the only way Evie could be helpful.
So, if you're curious, the way it was supposed to work is that the roll was DC 15, strength roll. If you passed to 10, but didn't get to 15, you weren't able to push it the direction you wanted. You rolled a D4 to see where it bounced. 1 or a 2, it bounced off to the right. 3 or 4, it bounced off to the left.
So if I would have pulled the orange dude off instead of trying to grapple Edmont, that would have made their goal useless.
Yeah, because there would have been nobody on the orange team to do any drinking.
Wait, were they playing for points or for drinks?
So you score a point if after the ball goes into the goal, everybody clinging to the ball breaks off and drinks.
Oh, okay.
The team that scored the goal has to get through 1 drink. The team that suffered the goal has to get through 2.
I guess, last but not least, my flaw, no one understands for getting punched in the face by Genie.
Okay. And who's next?
I'll go.
Edmont.
I've got lawful neutral, take everything you can and give nothing back. Or, listen, can I just use an item interaction to just ditch my pants?
Give nothing
'Cause
back
I need
except
the
your
action.
hands.
Exactly. Take everything you can. My ideal life is my canvas, and I will make my mark on it for making lots of arts and drawings for the kiddos and helping Tenny with her dolly and all this other fun stuff.
Yeah, I especially like the guy you drew with the straw hat.
Yeah, that was good.
Is it
Is it
like
in my
his
style?
Yeah, it's in your hand.
And that's all I got.
All right. Who's next?
I guess Victor will go.
Victor.
So for flaws, values knowledge over people. Just prioritizing trying to find out information about the village over seeing how his family and traveling companions were doing.
Okay. And everybody gave yourself 6 days towards the language, correct?
Oh, yeah, Evie actually learned the language now.
Yeah, Evie had it because she's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's for the flaw. For the alignment of neutral, the ends justify the means. That would be for stealing a holy symbol and pantsing Edmund during the game.
Now, I guess the interesting question to me is if you were back in Brennanine, would you ever put hands on Ekon's holy symbol without his leave?
He was cheating the game.
That's a major social faux pas to grab a priest's adornment and yank it off his neck.
If he was cheating during a game, probably.
Okay.
It wasn't cheating. I said no magic.
I feel like that's magic.
That's psionics.
And for the flaws of seek the truth no matter the cost, that would be wanting to leave the village in its natural state without disturbing the mind to go try and find other information from the surrounding areas.
But to be clear, we're going to the mine next week, right? Because I got to know what to prep.
Generally, yeah.
Okay.
Got outvoted.
All right, and that just leaves Ekon.
So, flaw, I'm sure there has to be something good over this next hill to for giving Tenny the pet rabbit, because there's no way that has ever backfired.
Okay.
Ideal, give me a reason for hunting down Denny after his hawk got shot. Like, that was pretty obvious that there was someone behind that. Didn't turn out as poorly as I'd hoped, but... And then, or I feared, I guess. And then, lawful good, the shining words of air lays down a path for us all for healing Denny.
Okay.
And then, initiative bish.
All right. So who had the most creative solution to a problem this session?
We're actually changing creative to cheatingist. Giving that to
Cheatingist?
Victor.
Okay.
So you played really dirty in that game.
I feel like a lot of
Really?
you played really dirty.
I think it was mostly just our team. I think it was just mostly just me and Victor. Like,
He started it.
Who did the most to further the party's goals this week?
We didn't get that far, but I was going to say Genie for learning the language and communicating with the locals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, Genie and Evie both speak Darkanese. Is that correct?
Yes.
So mechanically, the rest of you can continue to count days learning, even if you're not around locals, because Genie and Evie can now teach you. Also, put an asterisk next to it on your character sheet, because you can speak it, but you've never seen it written. You don't know how to read or write it. Not a lot of reading or writing happening in this village.
For sure.
All right, who was the badass this week?
That one's got to go to Edmont.
Yeah.
Because he really was the star player on the field, and I feel kind of bad that we won the game.
See, I can't even
Listen,
We had
Listen.
one good player. You guys had like 3 okay players and a very good player.
listen, eject shot. That's all I'm saying.
And one for intangibles.
Oh, I had. Unless somebody else has it, I would like to give that to McDohl for the Troll 2.
Yes.
Oh my
And the
God.
the Troll 2 like recap at the beginning of the session.
Yes.
Oh no!
That was not where I expected the horror to go, but that's where it went.
And our straw poll is a 3-way tie between Genie, Victor, and Edmont.
Do they all get blips?
Nope, I'm gonna refresh it until the tie is broken.
Where can I go vote?
Wait, are we allowed to vote for ourselves?
I never vote for myself. I only vote if it's tied and I'm not involved.
There it is. Victor has it. So I assume Victor just went and voted for himself.
No, actually, I haven't logged in yet.
All right, so all of you came into the session with 6 blips, and nobody spent blips on the game. That's another thing I was wondering is how competitive were you going to be? Or you guys going to start busting out some 6 blip jack shots? Or so Edmont, you're taking 5 blips, and
Okay.
blips are currently worth. We're level 5, yes.
Yeah.
So blips are
250?
worth 250.
Yeah.
So Edmont, you're rolling over 5. Ekon, you're rolling over 5. Evie, you're rolling over 4. Genie is rolling over 6, and Victor is rolling over 6.
What's the next level?
14.
Yep. Just taking the 5 then.
All right, so
Yep.
when we reconvene next week, we will send you guys into the salt mines.
Oh boy, how can we destroy the nice halfling village this time?
See, not all of Ravenloft is darkness and horribleness. There are some nice places.
This place is a little too nice.
There's no such thing as too nice.
Waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I am going to feel
I
awful
don't
if we go
trust
into this.
you.
If we go into this mine and like destroy whatever magic is protecting this place, I think that would be the worst I would ever have felt in a role-playing game.